Have you noticed how, when life feels uncertain or overwhelming, your mind can easily slip into worry, fear, or survival mode, even when you're doing your best to stay positive? What if that isn't a personal failing, but something we can gently train and support? Today's conversation is an invitation to look at life's challenges through both a human and spiritual lens, and to explore how strengthening your inner state can help you stay grounded, open, connected, no matter what is happening around you. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to the Angels and Destiny show, where we explore spiritual wisdom, healing, and transformation to help you take charge of your destiny. I'm Ray Cownan, the founder of Radiant Angel Energy, and a spiritual guide and healer, helping you reconnect with your divine presence and create a life of purpose and fulfillment through angelic Reiki, guided meditation, and intuitive journeys across past, present, and future lives. Now, the meaning of angel is messenger, and destiny means to make, firm, establish. So each week, my guests and I bring you messages to help you ground divine wisdom into your everyday life. Now, in today's episode, I'm joined by Andrea Ramirez, a certified hypnotherapist and future life visioning practitioner dedicated to holistic well-being and personal transformation. Drawing from hypnotherapy, future life progression, mindfulness, emotional healing, and intuitive practices, she supports people in releasing emotional blocks, overcoming limiting beliefs, and reconnecting with their inner wisdom. Now, through her work, Andrea helps individuals move beyond survival mode and into a more aligned, grounded, and purposeful way of living. So, without further delay, hello, Andrea, and a warm welcome to the Angels and Destiny show. How are you today?
Hi, Ray. Thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be here today.
Beautiful. And of course, to everyone watching, whether you're joining us live or watching the replay, we'd love for you to be part of the conversation. Let us know what resonates, ask questions, or share your own experiences in the comments. Please don't be shy. So, Andrea, why don't you tell us more about your journey and how we can train our inner state to navigate life's challenges with greater calm,
Mhm.
resilience, and trust?
So, my journey started in 2018, at least with everything that is related to mindfulness and working with the subconscious mind. I got very, very sick. I was wildly misdiagnosed for the first 6 months of the year. Turns out I had a most awful flare up of ulcerative colitis, which is an autoimmune disease. And I spent 1 month in the hospital. I was 3 days away from kidney failure when I was admitted to the ER. I was very weak. I lost 10 kilos in 1 month. I could not eat through my mouth for most of my stay in the hospital. I had to eat through pipes on my arms. And it was so painful. I couldn't even look at a picture because that would hurt. It was really very, very, very bad. After I left the hospital, a friend pointed me in the direction of a doctor that was an MD, but also used holistic medicine. And when I went to see her, she only treated me with hypnotherapy. And after a course of hypnotherapy, that was basically it. I finished the battery of medications that I had to take after the hospital. And once they were done, they were done. I have not taken any other immunosuppressants, none of that until today. And that was the one to last flare up that I had. I had one flare up in 2020 because of the situation that the world was
Yeah.
living at the time. And that's it. And I do have that dis-ease in my body, but instead of thinking of it as a burden, I see it as my compass. So my body tells me now when my mind is going too fast and I'm not listening. And I have done a reframe on this dis-ease, on this illness, as some sort of redirection system. So every time I find myself getting a little bit of inflammation, a little bit of upset in my body, I start to ask myself, where is it that I'm going too fast? Where is it that I'm overthinking or completely bypassing my body? And it helps me come back to the present. It helps me come back and look at myself and my situation in real time, not in the what is going to happen in the future or what has happened in the past. And it's a very powerful tool. It's a very, I think, important part of our everyday lives that we tend to forget as humans. And I'm very grateful for that because it's also taken me on the somatic path to connect with our breath in a somatic way, which only means connecting with how your body feels inside in order to help you navigate your outer circumstances. So that to me was so powerful. I could not believe that hypno could do that. And I went on a deep dive about the subconscious mind. What does it mean? I didn't really understand what it was. But what I understand today is that our subconscious mind or unconscious mind is akin to a divine mind because it's incredibly creative. It's as creative as it is extremely powerful, and it can really change anything that is happening, whether it's biological, like my illness or disease, to anything that is related to your belief systems or experiences that might have been traumatic in the past. It can be supported in a very compassionate way, in a very effective way. And I think this is what I like the most because even when I went to what you would call energy healers or spiritual healers when I was recovering, I heard a lot of judgment. Oh, this is happening to you because you didn't forgive this, or you didn't forget that, or because the ancestor X did this and did that. And I was thinking, I'm still feeling very weak. I'm still in some sort of degree of pain. The last thing I need is somebody telling me, "Oh, this is happening to you because you kind of chose it." That was the last thing I needed. And hypnotherapy gave me that compassionate approach. I don't need to hear you telling me why I'm sick and kind of putting it on me. There might be a degree of responsibility, yes, but this is when the subconscious mind is simply helping us survive. And sometimes our subconscious mind doesn't understand what quality of life means. So if it tries to protect you, it could give you a panic attack if you don't want to go to that event. And we are thinking, oh, that's awful. But if you work with the subconscious mind to say, could you do the same, but without the panic attack and protect this person with all the love you have for this person, but without the panic attack? Is it possible? And your subconscious mind is going to say, yeah, for sure, we will do it. And it will do it. And in that way, and it's my very personal experience, I haven't had an autoimmune flare up in years. So, in the same way, I like to work with the people that come to me for with addictions, with chronic pain, with all these kind of things. I feel very misunderstood, and I understand that because I was there too. So all of that plus the spiritual part that I've always had in my life. I've always been very sensitive to energy. I'm a channeler since I'm a very young child. And understanding the subconscious mind was like the last piece of the puzzle for me to bring everything together. And these two things combined help people in more ways than you think. So if somebody comes for quitting smoking, they might end up having a complete different outlook in life because of the result of the work with the subconscious mind. And this is when we need to make the bridge between conscious, like you and me talking and sharing right now, and subconscious, all the programs that we're running in the background, programs that we picked up when we were kids that we don't even remember, that we don't even know, but are still there, that we cannot see behavior wise, but others can see about us, and make that bridge. Because As much as your circumstances could be challenging, could be an illness, could be mental health, if we don't talk to ourselves in the right way and we start letting ourselves be dragged by those circumstances, we will have a very difficult time. So we need to understand that consciously how we talk to us when we are going through difficult circumstances, challenging circumstances, it does have an effect on our subconscious mind. It's a message that we're sending to the back office of our brain. And that will change your chemistry, that will change your energy levels. And it is something that seems very simple, but it's very, very powerful. How you take care of yourself, how compassionate you are with yourself. And especially when you are in a difficult place of pain, because it's very easy to look for someone or something or a circumstance to point towards. And we don't want to point towards ourselves either because we're in pain, we're suffering, we're not feeling good. So it's a moment to say, okay, I love you. It's very good to talk in third person to us. It's been studied that is actually more powerful than doing simple affirmations. So if we talk to ourselves in third person, like, Andrea, I love you. Now it's time to rest. We will work on this later. You can work on this. You have all the tools that you need. The people that you need will show up to help you do this. And just trust and rest. That is so powerful because I bet you nobody is going to know come to tell you that. If you go and doom scroll, if you go on TV, you're not going to hear anything remotely close to that. But in your heart, that is exactly what you need to hear. And that is exactly what your body is asking because our subconscious lives in our body. This is why it's so important to listen to what your body is trying to tell you.
Yeah, that is so fascinating to hear, your experiences and how it works with you and what you know and the science behind it. But I suppose there are sort of like people that will go, "Well, yeah, that sounds great, yeah, but listen to my body, listen to my subconscious. How? You make it sound so easy, but how?"
Yeah. Yeah, this is the thing. Like tuning the noise out is the most difficult thing. And this is when doing what is called somatic exercises, movements, helps us. Because when we're too much up here, we're disconnected from here down. And that's how most people are living. If you even observe people, how they walk or how they run, you're going to see that the center of gravity is very high. They almost walk around towards with the chest first or with the head first. And when you do these very simple exercises that are called somatic exercises, which is just shaking or jumping a little bit, or even tapping your body, coming back to your body, feeling your body, or doing what's called sensual things, but it's not sexual, it's sensual. It's about smelling an essential oil and really savor it. Or what I call meditation supplements. If you cannot meditate, then when you're having that first cup of coffee or that cup of tea in the morning, just close your eyes and simply focus on the texture, on the smell, the temperature, the flavors. That is going to train you to reconnect with your interoception, your sensations happening inside your body. And so, as we swallow that tea, as we swallow that coffee, we can feel how it goes into our bodies and how it changes temperature or not. So, we need to really train ourselves to feel safe in our body, because sometimes our body carries a lot of stress, a lot of pain, a lot of trauma. So If we can find someone to help us if we need help, is great. But the most simple way to start doing this feeling in your body is by savoring. And I think it's a wonderful thing because it's gentle. You get to enjoy it. You can take a nice bath. You can have a nice chocolate. You can smell a nice oil, or even look at a beautiful flower, or at a beautiful landscape, or look at the sea if you're close to the sea. Look at the waves, um, and start hearing the sound. Like, really meditate. If it's difficult for you to meditate and connect with your body, try savoring. Savoring is one of the best things that you can do to reconnect with your body. And it's gentle. Your body's going to do it in its own rhythm. And then you might start to notice that when you have one type of tea, your body does one thing. When you have a different type of tea, your body does other. And then if you want to go deeper, maybe check, okay, what is this tea made of? What is this herb? What's the meaning of this herb? And maybe you get to make matches. Maybe this lemongrass is good for soothing my nervous system, and that's actually what I'm feeling right now. Maybe this rooibos is good for sharpening my focus without making me nervous, and I'm kind of enjoying it. So, really, really, through savoring, reconnect with your body, and your body is going to start talking back to you. And that's one of the most beautiful things because it's very easy and it's very enjoyable.
Yeah, no, that's a brilliant tip, especially if someone does find it hard to meditate. And the reason we laughed when Andrea mentioned chocolate is we were talking about chocolate earlier because I make my own chocolates, and Andrea spent 13 years with a father who worked in a chocolate factory, and we were talking about the different tastes and textures of chocolate. So yes, that is a brilliant way of getting in tune with savoring and tasting, and what those flavors actually tell your body, how your body feels when you're actually eating them, and letting them melt in your mouth,
Mhm.
etc., which is good. But I suppose also it's then taking the action of noticing what your body's feeling, rather than just go, oh yeah, so I feel great with this, but going a bit deeper with it, because I think
Mhm.
some people might go, okay, oh yeah, no, that tasted really nice, that felt really smooth going down my body, but then they go off and do something else rather than actually making note
Mhm.
of what that sensation was.
Yeah, this is why it's like training a muscle. Like when you go to the gym, you don't grow the muscle right away. You really have to work it. And this is why I say that it's savoring is so nice because you get to pick what you want to enjoy and then start to enjoy it, and letting your body enjoying it in different ways. So the more you work this muscle, the more your body is going to start talking to you in different ways. And also something that can support that inner perception, and to actually, if you want to go deeper, into let's say working that muscle, what you can do is journaling. So you can have that cup of tea, you can have that delicious piece of chocolate, and you can have pen and paper next to you, and just ask yourself there, what is my body telling me about this tea, about this coffee? And in the same way, you can reproduce that when you're going through a situation in your life. What is my body telling me about the situation right now? And you just write it down. Just let the words pour down from your pen. No judgment, nothing. This is between you and the paper. So you can write everything down, no judgment. And if you want, you can go back and check it out. But every time when you do this exercise, you can even put a little timer, 3 minutes. Just write it down. what's happening. And then that is going to be like the supplements, the vitamins that will help that muscle of savoring and interoception, internal perception of your body potentiate, so you can start this communication with your body. And it's very beautiful. Journaling is one of the tools that I love the most because it's very subconscious practice, but we make it conscious through writing. It's very private. Nobody needs to read what you're writing. So it's just you and the paper. It's very healing. It's very, could be cathartic at points, but it helps you realize things that are buried in the subconscious and make them conscious also in a very gentle way, in a very loving way, because that is your subconscious talking to you through the paper. So, just with this little prompt, what is my body telling me with this chocolate or with this coffee or with this tea? What is my body telling me with this situation? And you just write it down. Everything that pours out of that pen, just pour it on the paper. And you would be surprised. You will be surprised how powerful this very simple practice is.
Yeah, and I think journaling is one of the most powerful things we have. And what I've also found, writing is brilliant because you know it kind of like really cements it. But sometimes even speaking it into a recorder on your phone
Hmm.
actually be as helpful as well, especially if you're more of an auditory person
Yes.
and you listen to it back to, you're kind of like speaking it into reality. And
Hmm.
sometimes you don't have a pen and paper there
Yes.
to journal with, so you can, you know, do it via audio as well, and then maybe write it down later when you've got a chance, because I still think writing is really sets things into reality.
Hmm.
Makes them tangible and real.
Yes. Yes. And there is no escape to give it a second thought or try to even twist the words. They're there. It is what it is.
Yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. So you did the hypnotherapy, and you know, you experienced it and it helped you with healing. So you went and trained in it to actually do it yourself so you could help other people. So where did future life progression come into this? How did you get into that?
Sorry, the spiritual progression.
No, the future life progression.
Yeah. Yeah. Future life progression. So that's a very interesting one because one of the women that I studied with, she has also a YouTube channel and she does podcasting. And she happened to have had all the speakers that were going to a hypnotherapy congress in Ireland, I believe,
Yeah.
last year or this year, something like that. And at the beginning of this year, like this whole year for me is also another trip because I've gone through divorce and relocation. So at the beginning of this year, I was studying a lot and still learning a lot of stuff. And I saw one of these videos and I saw that it said something like about future visioning or future progression. I thought it was interesting, especially in the situation I was. And I got to see the video with Anne Jersh, and she did a short example of future visioning into your next lifetime, into your next life. And it was so amazing. It was so powerful. And I thought, oh my God, I need to learn this. And since then, I've been trained by Anne. I've done the FLP practitioner, the Future Life Progression Practitioner course, and I've also done the advanced. And from that moment on, I've been doing this with groups mostly. I've been doing this with groups in tech, with groups in creative settings, cinema, television, writers. I've done this at the Barcelona Journaling Festival as well. And I've done it online with the people that follow me and the people that are curious about it. And I encourage it not so much to look at it like an oracle or like a future prediction of what's going to happen in your life, but about what's the future potential of really what is the best thing that could possibly happen to you. And sometimes when we are in a place of trouble and a difficult situation in life and we don't see the way out, when you do a future visioning with that guidance, you can connect to a version of yourself that already went through the situation, already lived past it, already thrived past the survival stage, that version of yourself that is doing all the things that you could imagine you love and enjoy and bring you peace and wealth and happiness, and just connecting with that energy and anchoring it back into your body and bring it with you. I think that is already a win. That is already healing. And I like to put journaling at the end of it because it makes it real. And because you are the one writing down your experience there, when you read it again after the session in itself, it's almost like you have a little bit of a roadmap. And it's not so much like, okay, tomorrow you have to leave the house at 3, walk 200 meters to your left, and you're going to meet the love of your life. No, but it's more like, remember this habit, this best possible future you was doing? Well, this is something you can start doing today. And you start bringing that future energy into your present. And I've seen people change their demeanor, their outlook in life and their circumstances in such a beautiful way, in such a powerful way, that right now this is one of my most favorite techniques to use, especially with people that are going through circumstances or that feel stuck or that there's no way out. I think it's really a beautiful, very, very deeply healing technique.
Yeah, I totally agree. As people that know on this show, I've trained with Anne, and I love the future vision stuff. Is just so um, amazing. And again, it's a future potential. And we were actually talking about this before we came on air, about how all future potentials now, future
Hmm.
timelines, are actually shifting very, very quickly. So what might be a possible future timeline is suddenly changing into something completely different. But if you've got that energy that you've realized from that future and you've brought it into your current, when the timeline changes, it's bringing something even better for you that you're
Hmm.
not even aware of yet.
Yeah, exactly. It's about alignment, but we cannot see exactly which road we're going to go. Everything is changing so quickly. The energy, the mass consciousness, the mass vibration is changing so quickly as well. And I believe that the more people that practice this kind of techniques, especially in groups, you create also energy that is released to the world, that is released to the mass consciousness and the mass subconscious, that creates this kind of shifts. There's also lots of things happening in the skies right now, but it's more so, like I said before, it's not so much about predicting a future or picking a timeline where I win the lottery and I'm rich forever, or where I meet the love of my life and I'm happy forever. It's more about bringing that energy, that potential, how it feels, is training your nervous system to align to that best possible life, to align with that best possible love, to align yourself, maybe not with winning the lottery, but maybe bringing opportunities that are going to feel even better than winning the lottery and going to bring you so much more fulfillment and happiness. So it's very much about that.
Yeah, which I think is absolutely amazing that we we can bring that energy in now and not worry about what the possible future might be, because we know that we can adapt when things change, which they are going to, because we are in that space at this moment where nothing is set in stone anymore. You know, we are going through this time of change, before things do settle down. And when you are working with that energy and you've got that energy there, you can navigate it so much easier.
Yes, because you know how it feels to already have overcome that difficult situation or that difficult circumstance. Even if the difficult circumstance changes, it could be challenging for you. It could come with many faces and many disguises, but it could still be difficult and challenging. But the fact that you can understand and you already felt it in your body, how it feels to have overcome all of that, it's like having a superpower. It really, like the other day I was explaining this, like, because I'm working with a social media coach because I'm really bad at it.
Are
and
any of us good at it?
and I was telling her, I was explaining to her how it feels to have this insight, this feeling. And when we are going through a difficult circumstance or a challenging circumstance, it's like being in a ditch, it's like being in a hole in the ground, and you get all these different rocks that help you create stepping stones in order to get out of that hole. So you have mindfulness and you have meditation and you have tarot cards and you have channelings and all these things, but still you're trying to crawl your way out of that hole. And future visioning is having your best possible future self standing outside of that hole, throwing a rope all the way down to you, saying, come up. And it's like, wow, first you thought you needed to crawl all on your own out of that hole, and now you have an understanding that you are already out of that hole, and bringing that energy to yourself to help yourself. So suddenly it's like a shifting of a paradigm of how you understand life, because it's definitely not linear. It's definitely not how we're told by big outlets, even social media, how it is. It's very, if you will say it like quantum, although quantum is also being quite misused right now.
Yeah.
But
As all things are, things get twisted and
yeah, when they get mainstream, suddenly the meaning of things is just. But yeah, like, and really, you get to understand that everything is energy. Everything is energy. Where you put your attention, that's where your energy goes. Like I was saying, this year I went through divorce and I found myself relocating back to my city with nothing. And I was staying at a friend's couch after a 14-year relationship with 4 pieces of luggage, small ones, and that was all I had. And I was still really happy that I got another chance at life, that I got to do this again and I get to do this for me this time. And I was talking to a friend who lives in a beautiful apartment with a great partner, saying that her life is in shambles because one project that she had didn't really turn out the way that she was expecting. So, of course, I chose to look at this as a restart. I reframed it as a restart for myself, as a new opportunity to do something in my life that will make it more authentic and worthwhile. In the same way, I could have thought, oh my God, 14 years and this is all I have left. This is so unfair. Life is so unfair. After all these years, I'm couch surfing in my friend's house. What am I going to do? Oh my God, why is life like this? That wouldn't get me anywhere. Actually, that would have helped me land in the hospital once more, most likely. So it is very, very important that we catch ourselves when we're going to that place of complaining and whining. And it's not like, I don't want to make like a parallel, like I don't know if your mom said this to you, but this is like a universal thing. When you are a child and you don't want to eat, and they're like, oh, there are children in Africa dying of hunger and you don't want to eat your meal. I don't want to sound like that, but it is kind of like that. Like, I had a choice of saying, I'm gonna do this, or, oh my God, like my friend, my life is in shambles. Girl, it's not. This is just redirection, you know? And it's very important, because when you open yourself to life in that way, when you cannot see the what's in front of you, when you have to go one step at a time, this is when you have to tell life, okay, show me what is my path, show me what is my way, show me where is it that I thrive. I'm willing to put the work. And if I feel I don't have energy, give me something that gives me energy, positive energy. I want positive entertainment in my life. I don't want negative entertainment. I don't want the entertainment of telling my friend, oh, yeah, I got another flare up. Yeah, because divorce, so much stress. No, I want positive entertainment. Like, oh my God, I was looking for someone to help me with coaching, and I met this guy, and he's introducing me to all these super exclusive networks. And now my practice can take off. But it's in our hands. It's in our hands to do that. It's difficult, yes, but again, it's a muscle we can train. And we don't have to be, especially as women, very masculine in our approach to that, because this is something I was talking with a friend as well. Most of these coaching or these systems that tell you about how to use your mind and how to use your energy, they're very masculine.
Mm.
It's pushed through no matter what. Yeah, guess what? We're going to be burned out, and we don't want that. Especially as women, we have more resilience, but because of that, we tend to bite more than we can chew most times. And this is also something we need to pay a lot of attention as women. And sometimes when life tells you one step at a time, it's because life knows that you might lose yourself on the path, running like crazy head first, if it doesn't put the brakes on you. So that's one thing. One step at a time is not the worst thing in the world. And the next thing is, how are you going to put yourself in front of life? Are you going to be open to life? Are you going to be the one whining and crying in the friend's sofa? Or are you going to be the one saying, this is a great opportunity that I have in my hands? And then just that reframe energizes you and helps you.
Yeah, beautiful. And it is seeing anything that happens to you, no matter how bad it is, once you've got over that initial shock, that anger, that fear, whatever, where you don't, you experience it, you allow yourself to experience it because your body needs to, but then you move on to it. And yeah, it's new possibilities. You can create a new life for yourself. It's like a new adventure that you're going on. So, as you know, I do guided meditations and I read angel oracle cards. And each week, I like to ask my guests whether they would like me to do a mini guided meditation or pull an oracle card. But I also happen to know that Andrea has cards herself. So, Andrea, would you like to pull a card for everyone who's watching, whether live or replay?
Yes, yes, please. I have this super cute runic oracle of animals.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to shuffle, and I'm going to pick one.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully.
You might need to switch the camera back round again.
Oh, it's true. Yeah, I got kicked out before. There. Now we're back.
No.
Okay. So I'm going to pick one with the intention that will help the people that are watching as well. Okay. We got the owl. Kenas. My
Ah,
camera is a smart camera. Smart
so it
camera.
moves. Yeah.
And it likes to move by itself. I don't know how to stop it. Okay. So the keywords are illumination, creativity, abilities, learning. So it talks about getting wisdom, understanding, uh, and to understand this, I'm sorry, this is in Spanish, so I'm kind of going real time translation here. So it talks about that the owls from the beginning of time have always been this symbol of wisdom and knowing and understanding. They have big eyes, they can see in the darkness, something that others cannot see without light. The owl is also a companion to many goddesses through diverse cultures. They are the ones that keep the secrets occult. For these type of creatures, sometimes they were also feared. And the rune that is showing us, it's Kenas. It's like a little symbol on top of the owl.
Yep.
So it brings us the energy of the fire, like a illuminating torch. It represents the seeking of truth and wisdom and creative pulse. In this in this lecture, it talks about artistic ability, technique, and illumination of your path through the darkness, and it helps you being an entrepreneur of your life, take initiative with curiosity and intelligence like the guides. So it goes very much in the same direction that we can choose to panic in the darkness, or we can choose to look for that inner light, that is that inner wisdom that lives in ourselves, in our subconscious, in our bodies, and move through the dark night of the soul one step at a time, with the lantern, the fire of our hearts illuminating the path.
Beautiful. Yeah, but that ties in so beautifully with what you've been talking about. So let's see what my cards have to say. So as people know, when I do the cards, I do the cards for what you need to know for your highest good at this moment in time. Because even though I work with the past, when we go into the past, it's to learn, heal, and grow from, so it doesn't affect us in the present. When I take people into the future, it's so they can see, feel, know, understand the future and the steps to take, so when they come back to the present, they're not worried about it and they can stay fully present. So what does Andrea and everyone who's watching this need to know for their highest good at this moment in time? Just watching this either live or the replay, need to know for their highest good at this moment in time. Okay. Bogged in, go slow, take time.
Look at that.
So again, it ties in with what we were talking about, that sometimes you don't have to rush. Take the time, take that one step at a time. Get the train, start training yourself, you know,
Mm,
because, athletes, etc., don't just, really rush into, right, I'm going to lift weights within the next couple of days. They take their time,
mhm,
one step at a time, which training is that we need to do. So it is sort of like saying, it's confirmation about what you've been talking about, Andrea, and also, to those that are watching, you don't need to rush. We have got plenty of time, although
mhm,
the world seems to be all chaotic and going so fast. We can slow down time. We can play about with time. We can make it quick. We can slow it down. And if you take those steps and take your time, it slows down, which gives you the chance to actually get that knowledge, get that information, and know the right step in the right direction that you need to take.
mhm,
So I just love the way that, as always, the cards come out perfectly as to as to what we're talking about. So I know you've already given us some great words of wisdom, but do you have any final thoughts or insights that you'd like to leave our viewers with?
I think to just be kind to yourself. And being kind to yourself is not just getting yourself that sweet treat that you've been putting your eyes on the whole week. Being kind to yourself also means that if you are in a space or in a conversation or in a situation that is not good for you, that you give yourself the grace to step out of it free of guilt, free of feeling that like you have let somebody else down, because you need to take care of yourself until the time you leave this earth. You are just one of you. Your body is just the one. So be kind to yourself. Be kind with what you consume, and not just foods, the people, the conversations, the doom scrolling, the news. Be kind to yourself. Allow yourself, give yourself the grace to step away from situations, people, informations, even the media. Just step out of it. Give yourself that grace and try to connect as much as you can with nature. Even if it's just having a little plant in your house, connect with nature, connect with your body. Just be kind to yourself. Self compassion, I think, is one of the greatest things. It doesn't mean that we don't consider ourselves accountable, but it means to take responsibility for ourselves, which is like a completely um, different vibrational and energy thing. So be kind to yourself, especially now at these times in these holidays.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So I hope everyone you've enjoyed this conversation and found insightful, because I know I definitely have. So if people want to connect with you, Andrea, how do they do that? And do you have anything coming up, any free gifts, offers, anything, or anything you'd like to share?
So if people want to connect with me, they can go to my website, andreahypno.com, or they can go to my Instagram, Andrea Hypnotherapist. And I have a future visioning coming on the 15th of January. It's going to be online. I have it open for everyone because there's a lot of people that wanted to do it in person. They couldn't do it. So we're not going to do one online. And it's going to be future visioning, and it's going to be journaling. And I am offering the people that pre register now, if they're telling me that they're coming from you, from this video, that they can get a complimentary pass so they can get to try future visioning, which is super, super nice. It's something that I really, really advise people to do.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And I will put the links in the comments after the show. So again, thank you so much, Andrea, for sharing your journey and wisdom with us. It has been an inspiring conversation, as always. And to everyone who's watched live or is watching the replay, then thank you so much for joining us. And if you'd like to deepen your connection with the angels, then you'll find my free 5-day angel connection journey linked in the description comments. You'll also find details about my Angel Wings membership and Self Path Discovery program if you feel called to explore further. And of course, if you enjoyed this episode, then you'll love the other conversations in the Angels and Destiny playlist. It's filled with guidance, healing, and inspiring stories to support your spiritual journey. So do check it out now. And I've even got Anja on there as well. She's been a guest several times, and other people that have done future visioning for your future life progression. So you can check out more ways of going into the past and slipping backwards and forwards in time. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, then don't forget to subscribe. Click the bell button to be notified of when this show goes live, or I post guided meditations. Or share this video to anyone who might need a little angelic guidance today. And remember, every time you like, share, comment on any of my work, any Andrea's work, any of my guests are work on any social media platform, follow, support us. You are being part of a beautiful network that's getting these messages out there, reminding people that they're not alone, reminding people that there is so much information and
Mm.
support out there for them, that they can take charge of their destiny. And remember, you are never alone on your path. The angels are always with you. Take care, everyone. Bye.